Grace and peace, everybody. I want to talk about Christian Freemasons. A lot of people are under the impression that there aren't people that are considered themselves Christians, or can you be a Christian and Freemasonry? And there are a lot of, I know a lot of Christian Masons, and they argue Freemasonry is not a religion. But when it comes down to it, Masonry is they go to a place that they call a temple, the lodge. They have a temple, they have an altar, they have the sacred book of the law on the altar. They pray in there. So, in all actuality, that would fall under what someone would call a religion. But what is the religion of Masonry? People will ask because there are Freemasons that's Christians, there's Freemasons that's Muslims, there's Freemasons that follow Kemetic or ancient Egyptian doctrine. It's a little tricky because when you start dealing with Masonry, Freemasonry is eclectic in their thinking and in their religious symbolisms. Now, when I say eclectic, they're drawing from Judaism and the Kabbalah, and they draw from Hinduism and the Shriners and various other degrees. They speak on the Quran, and they draw from Islam and from the Prophet Muhammad, and a lot of symbolism with Arabia. They're drawing from Hinduism. They're drawing from so many different places. So when we say they're eclectic, they're pulling in from everywhere. That can bring in some of the confusion, but it depends, being a Christian and being a Mason, it depends on your dedication and your interpretation of Scripture. Some people look at the Bible symbolically, and I know Freemasons, they read a lot of the Bible allegorically. Those are just stories and stories that'll relay certain truths symbolically, and that's how they look at it, but more towards the fundamental side of Christianity and believers than mostly, a lot of Protestants that are Pentecostals or charismatics that take a more literal approach to the interpretation of scriptures. They feel it's a type of schizophrenia. You can't be a good Christian and a Freemason at the same time, and they have some valid points. Freemasonry teaches the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man, but there are certain individuals such as myself, we look at the scriptures, and the scriptures don't really teach the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. It sounds good, but in all actuality, when Messiah was here, Messiah told a group of religious people, he said, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your fathers you will do. The book of Revelation talks about those that call themselves Jews, but they're the synagogue of Satan. Everybody on the planet's not a child of God according to the Bible. Now, a lot of people say that's why I can't deal with the Bible. The Bible is exclusive. Every religion is exclusive. Every spiritual system tends to exclude some people. And that's just how it is. Islam is exclusive. This is just what it is. Judaism is exclusive, and other religions as well. So that's one of the main reasons that Freemasonry teaches the brotherhood of man and the fatherhood of God, that we can all come together and that we can all meet, and that's great. But like I said, Protestants and various different believers that understand the scripture and have a certain way of interpreting scripture, a certain hermeneutic, the way they interpret the Bible. Another thing it does, it makes way for the one world government. The book of Revelation says that in the last days, people will have to receive the mark of the beast. No man can buy or sell without that mark, and everybody's going to worship the beast. And there's going to be a one world religion, and it seems like Freemasonry would be that perfect tool to open the doors to that one world religion. And a lot of Freemasons been involved in politics and that one world government. They're Freemasons that's brothers. They don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. They don't care what type of language you speak, because they've been already trained in Masonic thought. That's my brother. I'm going to go out for that brother. And those are the two main things that people have a problem with. That's Protestant. But if you look at the Bible more allegorically, there are people that have been Masons and been Christians, and they haven't seen any conflicting problems with the scriptures. But those brothers, like I said, they look at the scripture more allegorically. People often ask me, and they wanna know, what, are you a Christian, or are you an Israelite, and they want to know, are you just a kingdom citizen? They want to know certain things because we tend to compartmentalize. We want to box people in. And when we start dealing with spiritual systems, what I do know is a lot of Freemasons, they don't look at it like that. They definitely understand it differently, and a lot of them are more versed, being that it's eclectic teaching. A lot of them are more versed in other things and other aspects of different religions than the average fundamentalist Christian that's attempting to convert them or to show them their errorous ways of being in two religions at one time, as they would call it. On top of the writings of Albert Pike and others who many believe are known Luciferians, Manly P. Hall, who are other high-ranking European Masons. But what do we do with Prince Hall Freemasonry that was totally separate from those people? Was it something that was there? Was it good? Was it corrupted? Did it come down from Adam and the forefathers and Enoch, and it was later turned into something else, or was it part of devil worship or something wicked from the beginning, formed by an evil cabal? You've been watching Berean TV. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.